Welcome to a super duper edition of Inside Media Weekly. I'm Ryan Boni. We are recording, right? Everything's good. We good? Kevin Bastos is here. Hello. Justin Pinto, you all right with your chair?
It seems to be malfunctioning. If all of a sudden I'm going down,
So that's my favorite chair.
During the show.
What does Mrs. Frick call that?
Demoralizing chair.
Just all of a sudden.
Speaking of demoralizing,
Kevin Bastos?
Let's go. Oh, I thought I introduced you.
No, I was following. I messed up the order.
It's the Sea Otters.
There
was
one
flying by. I don't know what's going on.
A little later in the day. They're a little more awake.
They've had their lunch. They're good to go. And that's all there is to say about them.
Let's go to the rundown next.
Let's go and see. So,
and
before we get to, there was some awards this weekend that highlighted movies, both good and bad. But before we do that, and
I
if
think
this
he's
thing
talking
loads,
about the Razzies. Did you see the Razzies?
The Razzies.
I did not either.
Oh, well,
I did look.
We're going to go over the Razzies.
Losers.
But before we get to that, where did the rundown go?
The losers that show up. That's great. Halle Berry went.
I read that she accepted it, holding her Oscar.
Yes.
And a Razzie.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Not many people won both.
Melissa McCarthy was nominated for both this year. Did not win either.
She won a Razzie?
But this year, she did not win both.
Correct.
How impressive would it be to win a Razzie and an Oscar for the same role?
Like...
Yeah, like the Razzie just said, we're just going to nominate you.
It was like something good at the beginning and then became like, a flamed out piece of garbage.
Good.
Speed 12. Something.
Direct video.
Godfather Part 8. It's really not been the same. Speaking
of sequels, how about How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World?
I heard it was the highest opening of any in the series up to this point.
How about that?
True.
It's because we went over the rundown for the show.
Well, really, the rundown is just go to Box Office Mojo sometimes.
So,
talk about movies we haven't seen.
Against a $129 million budget, it's already made $58 million, halfway there. Well,
it's already made
not quite halfway there.
$200 million. It's been out globally for like 8 weeks.
It's pretty good.
And then you have Alita Battle Angel, which had a rough second week.
Does that say a budget of Alita was $170 million?
Yeah, because it's made some outrageous amount of money overseas.
Okay.
Right? And then it's just now opening.
Yeah.
grab the screen and see for yourself.
170. I would not have said that.
That's the budget?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Somebody got ripped off.
Well, he said it made money overseas. How much money
I don't care. 170 million. We need another 170 million. No, I'm sorry. We need another 30 million. What are you making, Alita? People aren't going to buy this.
Shrek had huge budgets. So surprising.
Shrek also
Animated
had Mike
movies.
Myers in it. Name me 2 actors in
Is it
Alita.
Alita? It's got somebody famous. Is it Peter Jackson? Is he involved? I think he's involved in everything.
He's in everything.
2 actors.
It had a $62 million opening in China. I'm trying to find the worldwide. So right there you've got.
Well, just click on Alita. It'll tell us it's global gross.
Mm-hmm. And see if Peter Jackson has anything to do with it. Yeah, 4 and 202.
Let's see some actors down there. Yeah.
Oh, Robert Rodriguez. I don't think I realized. But James
Waltz.
Cameron.
Oh,
James Cameron is your writer.
James Cameron. There's the
knew it
budget
was
right
one of
there.
the
James Cameron.
Saddest thing is he's probably like, okay, I need 130 for me, and everybody else gets 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this movie. James, what do you got? Alita. Go on.
You got Jennifer Connelly. You got Jackie Earle Haley.
These are.
Is Jackie Earle Haley? Is he from Watchmen?
Yes, Rorschach and Watchmen. He also was
you have an
in.
Academy Award winner.
The original Bad News Bears.
You don't say.
With Walter Matthau.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Was he a kid?
Yes, he was a child then.
He was one of the leads. He was the.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, he was the bad boy lead.
What was his name in the series?
Wait, this new topic for the. Are you guys gonna talk about the Oscars? No. We're talking about Walter Matthau and Jackie Earle Haley in the Bad News Bears. Did that come out in 1974? Yes.
Very
yes,
current.
It did.
Kelly. Kelly Leak.
Kelly.
Remember, he was the
I don't
I think they
remember.
said
the
Kelly
great player, but he
112 times.
but he drove on the
Motorcycle.
motorcycle. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember
Well, 'cause-
the kid who swore all the time and threw his mitt down to the ground. The catcher, who was very fat. Then the token minority children. You had a couple of... boy, that you could not make that movie today. There are a lot of movies you could not make today. We watched a movie...
It was all about Tatum O'Neal, though, really.
Yeah. Then the 4 sequels where Tatum was like, no,
Well,
I'm
I'm not
out
doing
of here.
It's beneath me now. I can't do that anymore.
Tatum O'Neal is saying, no, I can't show up.
The dump truck of
Yikes.
cash was not big enough.
Walter Matthau didn't come back either. Did he?
No, because wasn't it William Devane was in the
Yep.
second one?
Yep, William
Well, they go
Devane
to
came
the
back. Astrodome.
Astrodome, and then the
Yeah.
one they go to Japan,
Japan.
right? Breaking Training.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Inside Bad News Bears. 30 years later.
God.
We're going to go through it.
The new Bad News Bears just doesn't capture the essence of...
Well, it's not the same. Not the same.
Well, you can't have Billy Bob Thornton take over for Martin Landau. Or
He's the
Martin
only
Landau.
person
Walter
who
Matthau.
could have taken over Walter Matthau's role.
You think?
Yes. There are very few...
Could have pulled it off.
I don't know what the budget of our show is, but I feel like we could use a new chair.
Call in a new chair.
We could use a new chair.
Remember when I used to go get those chairs from that side over there?
I mean, I don't blame you. If this
Yeah, I
is the
did.
chair that you were working with, if you just position wrong, all of a sudden it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like,
You don't want that chair.
as it turns out,
Chair.
I did not know until I sat in it today.
So let's talk the Razzies.
Of course. That's
Because
the
that's
next-
the important one.
Number 1, Bad News Bears.
Somehow we
Number
got from
2,
Alita to Bad News
Razzies.
Bears, and now we're at the Razzies. I don't even know what one.
We'll be like,
Okay.
And now the Oscars. Oh, we're out of time.
So Holmes and Watson, unfortunately, takes worst picture. Let me blow that up a little bit.
I did not see that.
I did not either, but it didn't seem to.
No.
So worst actress. So Melissa McCarthy did win worst actress for Happy Town Murders and Life of the Party. However, she did get the Razzie Redeemer Award, which we'll get to later in a second. And Donald Trump won 2 awards. Worst actor.
I don't think he's acting.
Oh, okay. Worst supporting actor, John C. Reilly, for Holmes and Watson.
I have this feeling they just nominate people and things they don't.
I feel like they just give the awards to people so they hopefully they get talked about.
Did anyone see this movie? No.
Well, don't
Nominate
forget
it. Put it up.
too.
No one's gonna know.
Whereas the Academy is what if you've sneezed on a set, you're in the Academy, right?
It's
You
a
can vote.
little bit more. It's
Oh,
not
is
like
it? Okay.
Hollywood Foreign Press. That's really exclusive. You've got to have dirt on a lot of people to even get
But
nominated.
the
for
Razzies,
that.
you pay like $40 with that, and you can vote.
Sure.
Any person can vote.
Yeah.
So I could have voted for the Razzies.
You can.
Maybe
so next
we
year
should
you
do
might
that for next year.
There you go.
Let's put that in the budget.
Yeah.
Kel-
Okay.
We need 40.
Either
Yeah.
chairs,
Not million,
either
just 40.
chair
We need
or-
40, 120.
I
We all
need-
get a vote.
And a new chair.
New chair.
120.
Kellyanne Conway won worst supporting actress, and then Donald Trump again worst screen combo.
I just don't feel like the Razzies are losing me now. Like you took a documentary.
Nobody cares.
A-
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I really give us somebody who
Dump on
actually
these 7
tried
films,
in a
right.
movie, and it was not good.
Worst remake ripoff sequel. Well, obviously, if the worst picture is Holmes and Watson, then the worst remake ripoff sequel. And then Ethan Cohen, not Ethan Cohen, was the director of Holmes and Watson, won worst director.
I have to say I'm stunned that it beat out the 50 Shades whatever.
But 50
it was.
Shades Freed did win worst screenplay.
Phew, thank goodness.
So I'm
And
assuming.
again, these are not movies that I think people see. I don't. Razzie Redeemer.
Razzie Redeemer Award would be Melissa McCarthy because not only did she have 2 Razzie nominated films this year, but she also, of course, had a great role in
pretty impressive.
Can You Ever Forgive Me?
It's pretty impressive.
Range.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So that's it. The Razzies, you got
Done. No, we'll go to the Oscars. I've seen like 0 films on this list, which is not true. Because I think I actually saw 3.
Of
and
what?
one of them I didn't hate. So
On the Razzies?
yeah. So
All right.
there's 2 more I want to see.
Holmes and Watson.
No.
It won though.
I know. The Meg. I want to see the Meg.
How's the Meg? See, now that's a movie you can nominate, I guess. Meg seems actually interesting.
But it's like a popcorn garbage
Yes,
film.
but if you that's
I
fine.
want to
But
just
can't
make
win
fun of
Razzie.
it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Not like, Star Wars Holiday Special bad, but, enjoy it kind of a bad. This is fun to make fun of kind of awful.
I can understand.
Hit the Oscars. Come on.
Sharks.
Show's going to be over.
Sharks are not to be taken lightly.
Get to the Oscars.
So, okay, well, let's first. So, the Oscars, of course, had a little bumpy ride getting to the telecast. You had your host decide not to host a while back.
Might be more to that story, but okay.
Then,
They did not have a host.
Then they weren't
that part
gonna,
is true.
Then they weren't going to bring the best actor, actresses back to give the awards, and then they were going to have just a couple songs be sung, and then they decided, well, we need every song to be sung.
And then they were saying, we're going to put these on the commercials.
And then you had one person who couldn't show up anyway, so they didn't do all the songs, and then there was no host, and
It was fast last night. I mean, as Academy Awards go.
It was, but was
11:15.
not. It was fast, but not.
3:15ish. Oh wow, the end credits were about 20 minutes long. So, but the best.
I was
picture-
surprised when I sat down to watch, and I was like, "They're doing this award now? This seems a little early."
They did some things better, and some things were not better.
So let's talk telecast first. What did you like? Not like?
I liked the abbreviated forms of the movies. I didn't need a 5-minute recap of each film. That was better. I did not like the extended intros for each person that was doing that, with the exception of Bohemian Rhapsody, which I thought was a really good idea. All the other ones were a little too far-fetched for me. Bring out someone, here's your script, be done. Especially when some of them, the connections were really obtuse. It was really, hey, here's 2 other people who did this. What else with the...
I mean, it seemed to. I didn't record it and go back and watch it, so I was kind of like in and out watching it between other responsibilities of life.
Understood.
It seemed smoother in a lot of ways. Like there wasn't. I didn't see the intro. I know there was one, but normally sometimes I feel like the host has to make this big introduction, and they force a lot, and then sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. But why? I don't need a 12-minute introduction. You know what I mean?
That was great. That was Adam Lambert and Queen was great.
Well, but there was a purpose behind that, related to the actual show. Like I don't need David Letterman doing a monologue.
No.
To start the Oscars.
And
if I want that, I'll watch David Letterman or
And
Jimmy
that
Fallon,
I
whoever
felt
would do it
was
now.
better. I mean, I was like, this is better to do this.
I did not see the introduction. I read about that introduction. It seemed like they did things that made more sense, and like I said, it did seem like it was faster. Could all have been in my head, but
And I did like the 3 people coming out to sort of deliver the opening monologue. The non-opening monologue was good. 3 women. I thought it was a much broader scope of people, a lot more women, and a lot more minorities. And that seemed to be the main message of this is changing. The scope, the panel is changing. And I want to say halfway through, I said that to my wife, and the very next award was the short documentary, which was period, end of sentence. And I was like, yep, that is totally 100%. That's the message of tonight. So,
But the big story of the night. Can you believe the Academy is building a museum?
shocking.
So I loved how.
I can't believe they waited this long.
Well, and to be honest, okay, so it's a complete sidetrack, but so Laura Dern comes out and she starts talking. I don't know what she's talking about. And
Jurassic Park music, by the way.
And then suddenly it's a museum, and then it was it was like 30-second or 1 minute. But I was thinking that was all time you could have divvied out to those people you were cutting the microphone off of, earlier in the show. I just,
well,
yes,
the Academy
museum is
Award
important. I
this
understand.
week.
There were some good ones, and then the 3-person panel with the piece of paper and passing it along felt like 3rd graders giving a thank you note.
I did not see that.
Oh, I don't know. That was for documentary,
I'm trying to remember what
the
group
long
that
form
was.
documentary, 3 individuals.
There's a lot of papers out there.
It was-
I love how
but
people.
that one was the worst.
Some
It was
people
like,
had the
I
very
said that
classy
already.
note
Oh, you
cards.
need to say this. No, and just passing this piece of paper.
On Twitter, I think they made fun of Alfonso Cuarón. Was he the one that had it was almost looked like a shopping receipt, and they listed, I'd like to thank this so and so, and then they went into his grocery list of things.
Oh, I didn't mind that.
He needed to
That-
pick up.
that. I didn't mind.
But But I thought it was funny how some people had very classy looking note cards, and then others just had these.
You know what did jump out at me? The envelopes looked very
Sealed.
very well. And did you notice the envelopes this year? Very clearly, you could read, like, even just the person's voice,
right.
you could read what award was on it
Yeah.
very easily.
They should have called it the Steve
mix-up.
Harvey adjustment.
They didn't bring out and thank the law firm that was in charge of tabulation.
In the
did they?
credits.
In
it
the
was.
credits. But it used to be part of the show.
Yes.
It's like,
Well,
they used to
this
make a
3
joke
minutes,
about it,
we'd
how-
like to bring out this law firm because they did such a fabulous job. That did not happen
I actually
in the
stayed
show.
to watch the entire credits, which I don't
Wow.
know why. I was going to turn it off, but I was like, I'll watch it. But then, so there's like 100,000 crew members on the show. And then they did full screens at the end where they read the stuff that used to be in the show. It was Price Waterhouse, you know.
We're really going
Accounting
to keep
for-
the show about the same length, but we're just going to put all this other stuff after people have turned it off and just run it real fast.
Good enough. Listen, great move.
It's like when you watch a movie on like TBS and then all of a sudden they run the credits and it just goes real fast.
So let's talk about the actual Academy Awards.
Ah,
Oh, you don't want to? Okay, let's move on to other
I'm not-
movies.
end of the show.
So,
I don't know if I was hoping something else would win. I was hoping to save some money and Black Panther would win. Because then I wouldn't have to buy anything else. I own it. Now Green Book.
So, and I will say I did do a little mini marathon over the weekend to try to catch up.
You watched movies.
I watched 3 of the Best Picture nominees.
Black Panther?
Well, I'd already
before.
seen Black Panther.
Okay.
Ish.
And I saw Bohemian Rhapsody before that, and I saw Black Klansman before that. But then I watched, mistakenly out of the order I should, I watched Roma, then Green Book, and then Star is Born. So.
I think that's not nice to Star is Born.
But let's go over actor, best actor, Rami Malek
No surprise.
in
No,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see
it's
how
the
it
role
could-
of his lifetime. You know, he will not get another role that great, but he's also a great actor. I mean, I got to say for that kid.
You don't think he'll be nominated for like the Mr. Robot movie that they make in a couple years?
I think Mr. Robot is a fabulous show. I love it.
I have not watched it. A lot of people
Oh.
say how great it is.
Fabulous. But, I mean, drug-addled, addicted, I mean, exhaustion kind of thing. I don't think it'll be as much as that role.
I know Christian Bale was getting a lot of press for Vice. Bradley Cooper. So
There was a big push to have him win. They were saying like
Yeah,
we should do the right thing.
I
and
I
have
mean,
him.
I don't know how you can win an award when you just mumble through an entire movie. I don't know exactly what.
The character
Sylvester
mumbled.
Stallone.
Did he win Best Actor though?
He won Best Supporting.
Supporting.
For
Oh yeah,
For
for Rocky
Creed.
Balboa or Creed. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. And he was terrible.
I felt
He
bad.
was terrible.
Willem
He
Dafoe.
might have been better in Rocky 4 than he was in that movie.
Willem Dafoe in the movie nobody saw, Eternity's Gate.
well, some people saw.
Well, another good actor that, and then I thought Viggo Mortensen was pretty fantastic in Green Book.
No one else had a chance. No one else had a chance.
So let's go.
Same in a supporting role. No one else had a chance.
So I thought Adam Driver in Black Klansman only from the standpoint that in the movie, I feel like everybody is like these very one-dimensional standard cardboard cutouts, and Adam Driver has so much going on in his character that it pushes him, it makes him more flashy in the movie almost because he stands out against all these other. So I thought maybe that would be. I mean, Sam Elliott is Sam Elliott in every movie. It's like he's great, but it's Sam Elliott. With his fantastic voice and stuff. So
And mustache.
yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say,
mustache.
He's
Yeah,
hanging on to that
so-
mustache for 50 years now. He's got.
So Mr. Ali, takes it in Green Book. I mean, I think that, I agree. Everybody
I
was
think
kind
in
of.
addition to his great acting, the role was perfect. That's that weird combination where you have that well-written role and a great actor that come together. Like Driver, I mean, I haven't seen the film obviously, and he's a good actor, but I don't think it was the role born to win. So
Probably the biggest surprise of the big ones was possibly Olivia Colman. I think just a lot of people kind of just assumed Glenn Close was going to walk.
Well, she had
off
won
with
like everything else before that.
or
hadn't she?
that
She was
maybe
the
Lady
favorite going
Gaga.
She was the
the favorite.
she was the betting favorite.
Obviously, I think I'll agree. Maybe the best speech of the night, just
Oh, it was
because of
fun.
how off the cuff she was and how flabbergasted she was to win.
And English and,
Right.
you know,
Self-deprecating, just
biting sarcasm, but subtle. It was great. And sweet and sincere. Great speech. And everyone else says, and all the others nominated with me. This felt so real to really stop, pause, give to Glenn Close. And, you know.
Actress in a supporting role. I wanted to see if Beale Street could talk. Actually, it's not available to stream anywhere at the moment. You can pre-order it on Amazon, but that's as close. I really like Regina King and other stuff I've seen her in, so it doesn't really surprise me that she's good. I know
She was the favorite.
Amy Adams is a little bit of a media darling. People love her, and then of course you always have Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz in favorite. I don't know if they
I
took
think the biggest
battle
upset.
each other
When
out.
was the last year Meryl Streep was not nominated for something?
You keep talking about that.
Where was
Glenn
she?
Close replaced Meryl Streep this year.
She's
that's
the
all.
new.
Right.
she's the stand.
We're transitioning to a new
Yes.
Meryl.
Yes.
Glenn. We're gonna have Glenn. She'll be nominated all the time.
I think I know you talked about all these ones that are not are predictable, but I think your most interesting roles are the winner for Best Picture of the year. I mean, that was the one. I wouldn't call it a race necessarily, but I'd call it a surprise.
Green Book was a surprise. It was a surprise win because it was supposed to be a Roma.
But Roma won everything, and not to dump on him, but when they said he's up for 4 awards from this movie, the first person to be nominated from 4 different awards for the same film, I was like, he did all of those things? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, he could have. I don't
Yeah.
know that, but more than likely there were plenty of people helping this guy
Oh, sure.
out.
But he's listed as
Sure.
cinematographer, the writer, the director, obviously, and stuff.
Gaffer.
He was the lead gaffer.
Lead gaffer.
And we'll get to Best Picture in a minute, but I think everybody's cheering that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse takes animated feature film. I think there's always a little bit of glee when Disney doesn't come through, or even Pixar anymore.
Well, doesn't Disney kind of win this one because they own Marvel
yeah,
and the whole
I guess
thing? I mean,
now,
it's
yeah.
can we give it to Disney? How about we give it to Marvel, which is like giving it to Disney?
Good enough.
Thought it was interesting
Gives him
too.
something else.
You have Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who got booted from Star Wars in order. And there's a lot of interesting intrigue that goes on here.
Have you seen it?
No,
I have not either. So
I hear nothing but good things.
I know. I hear praise for it, especially from people who aren't superhero movie people.
You got Incredibles 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet. You got 2 sequels here in the midst of it, and Isle of Dogs is kind of a strange,
who knows what's going
typical
on?
Wes Anderson looking kind of thing. Cinematography, Roma, Alfonso Cuarón. I don't. Cold War I did not see. Actually, come to think of it, I did not see Never Look Away or The Favorite. So Roma and A Star Is Born are the only two that. And Roma is such it's just a beautiful film as far as how it's shot, how it's put together and stuff. That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, it's definitely the most beautiful film that I saw of the groupings. Costume design, Black
Bring it
Panther. So okay,
Black Panther won more awards than like A Star Is Born, didn't it?
Yes.
yeah.
And there was a
Star Wars
time,
only original song, right?
Right. I think they only one song. Yeah.
maybe 90 minutes into the broadcast, maybe an hour and 15, I thought there was a chance Black Panther could push ahead and win Best Picture because they were winning all of those early awards, and especially something like costume design. I didn't expect it to win that. Like, visual stuff and story stuff, and the sound stuff maybe, but for it to push in there, I thought, and then Bohemian Rhapsody won a few.
Well,
of
I was
the
surprised.
sound
Yeah,
ones.
Bohemian won a
when
bunch.
Bohemian Rhapsody won
Yeah.
those first, like 3 of the first some odd awards. I'm like, maybe this is going to be an underdog sweep, come through. All right, I got to ask real quick. It's bothering me. I felt, once McCarthy, and I don't remember who the guy was that came out with it, but it doesn't. But so she's wearing the dress,
The
that has the
rabbit
rabbits
jacket.
in it, and it's very humorous. I get it; it's funny, but at the same time, I feel it's a little tacky to be kind of sort of mocking the costume design in front of the costume designers when you're presenting the award for the best costume design. I'm sure the costume designers take their field very seriously. whereas everybody else is kind of like, may not be as much. Did that get you at all? No?
I loved it.
I mean, I loved it.
I
just
loved
thought
it.
would
It
been perfect
made-
to be another spot in the show.
Made that category memorable.
Okay.
For someone to come out and give props to this department. I mean, do you guys remember what they did for sound editing?
They had the same people out for sound editing, sound
And
design.
their joke was, "We're out here twice in a row
Yeah.
for this." And well, right,
That's true.
he's a big time comedian, and I don't remember who. I hadn't seen her before, but there are two comedians talking these two roles, talking them up, and it's forgettable. Costume,
All right.
not forgettable.
True. If you want the buzz.
Loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. And I told you before, if you're an actor, you can make fun of the makeup and sound and costuming people. You can't make fun of the directors. You got reverence for the directors.
Well, speaking of directors, Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. Okay.
Of course.
We have documentary Free Solo, which looks fantastic. The guy's, climbing
Yes.
El Capitan.
That
I think
looks
it's pretty cool.
Spectacular. That little clip they showed, I thought.
Period end of sentence, which probably had one of the speeches most talked about afterwards. Film editing, Bohemian Rhapsody. Interesting foreign language film, Roma wins. So it's the best foreign language
Shocker.
film. Not the best overall.
I used to drive me crazy when it would be nominated for Best Picture and not win Best Foreign. Like, how can you be nominated for Best Picture and none of the other movies in foreign were, and then didn't win that? Like, wait a second, guys. You said it was one of the best movies, but it didn't even win this category. I'm confused. They've been fixing that a lot lately, though.
Vice with its one win at makeup and hairstyling. Music original score, Black Panther again.
That's an interesting one.
Nothing for Spike yet.
And then original song.
He's down there.
Shallow.
He is. We're down to a minute.
That's interesting. We got Best Picture, and then and Spike Lee, of course, one of the
This is his first Oscar he ever
The only
won.
man
right?
who spoke, but
First
of
win.
the
Oh,
five
the
writers
first
of the thing.
competitive win. He technically didn't get something. He kept saying first competitive Oscar.
I don't know what it was. I'm sure he got an honorary award from something.
Oh yeah, I think he was given like a
The lifetime achievement of some kind or
like
something.
The Irving Thalberg or one of those kind of awards.
He got up on stage, finally. And again, they've made the mistake with other people. Hitchcock is your notable example, where they never got him on stage for anything.
Personally, I think of the six that I saw, Roma was far and away the best picture that I saw. Also, the least enjoyable of the
Yes,
movies.
I heard it's slow.
It's plods along, but it is just beautifully put together. And it was tough to go from Roma. I think I really loved Green Book, but I think I might have liked it even more had I watched them reverse because it kind of brought out kind of the genericness of Green Book because Roma was so, beautifully put together and slow and depressing.
And Star is Born.
And A Star is Born. Yeah, we have 30 seconds left.
And we have 20 seconds to talk about something else.
B minus.
Did you see it?
I don't know.
No, I didn't
the
see
songs
it.
were
That's my favorite thing
mediocre.
about it.
Other than Shallows, I will admit is a very it was a good song. Although we had to hear it 3 full times, I think in the show or in the movie. It's Brad Cooper's story instead of Lady Gaga's story, and it just kind of like every time she starts, and then it's back to Brad Cooper, and all he does is mumble through the whole movie.
Didn't see it, though.
It was,
I did not see
and
it.
then of course
I have no desire to
all the
see it.
Stars Born movies are very depressing, so it's just kind of.
Yeah, so that's what I decided for. Is I have some free time. Can I watch a depressing movie?
That's all the time we have for on this edition of Inside Weekly. What do we have next weekend? Or this weekend? Greta and Tyler Perry's Amelia family funeral. That must
Last
be-
one?
It's the last one, I think.
No.
Tyler Perry's done. And then
Afterbirth.
the following week, we're going to have a long talk about Captain Marvel. Is Brie Larson alienating people, with all this kind of thing she's saying? We'll have to talk about that on the next edition of Inside Media Weekly. Thanks for joining us.